BluntCut MetalWorks, August 17, 2021. These are 11 test knives, and you can see the steel and the hardness. All of the knives were sharpened with an Edge Pro at 7 degrees precise, apex and the burr using the 600 grit diamond plate, and I did a few stroke at about 4 degrees precise. So now it was not to round the apex with diamond powder. The quarter micron diamond powder on leather. This test will cut a 1-inch diameter rope 25 times and whittle bamboo 10 times. And after that, we'll take a zoom-in picture of the edge. And it's sharpened with Edge Pro at 7 degrees precise. And the behind the edge thickness won't play in too much, but they're very thin. It's many of these things are probably about 5,000 of an inch thick. And some edge, cleaning up, I think, because the test is going to exceed the cleanliness of the edge. So that they won't be impacted too much. Some of this S90V here, for example, other blade I won't shoot the video on it. But anyway, they're all going to be subject to the same test. And to start out, I'm going to cut the rope, and after that we'll whittle the bamboo. So the compound effect. So that is a 25 cut of. So if people cutting with the 1/2 inch diameter rope, then you cut equivalent to cut 100 10. Here are the edges after 25 cut of 1 inch diameter sisal rope and 10 cut compound with a 10 cut of bamboo chopstick. And the scale here is a 1/2 millimeter right there. And as you can see, if we were task oriented wise, the one that did the best is actually the M398. And they have a little bit of edge rolling, but very minor, and again relative to the scale. And if we now they get zoom in real quick. Here the 10V, and here is a little dark, but you can see there are a lot of edge rolling here. None of these things really there is I would call chips, and from these 6 you can see the magnitude of them is quite small, and these 6 would be, in this case here is less magnitude than 10V, and Magnacut at 64 Rockwell. You can see Magnacut actually roll quite a bit, and this is a roll, not really a chips here. It looked like that, but because it got pushed really hard, so they're up there, and when they roll on the, so that's what it looked like. And the T15 also, you can see that there are a lot of roll, and that's it is. And drying these here is also, well, when you have big enough roll and if a chunk come up, I wouldn't call it really a chip per se, because again, and even with ductile steel, when you fold it over and a big roll, and the steel can only stretch so much, then it will fracture. Anyway, from the 15V did fairly well compared to the M4 here. You can see these are just a little bit of deformation or roll here. You can see roll both directions there. And the M4 took a little bit bigger roll. And so there's 35VN, big roll here, you can easily spot right there. And the Z wear is actually a little bit, in terms of it goes smooth over more. It's roll, but it goes smooth more than say the S35VN. So in other words, it looked like Z wear would be, if you look for tough, I think Z wear would be tougher. Anyway, the 2063 again, that roll, and then the M398 surprisingly did really well, and I will talk about it after I go to the S90V. S90V here, they have this little bigger chunk, but you can see there a little faded color. All it means that just roll on the other side. And so the takeaway would be M398, the carbide volume is almost like 30%. So really high carbide volume. So they add to a lot of carbide reinforced, just like the matrix, so make it even stronger. And the question is, how come at this thin it didn't, chip out? I think because cutting, the bamboo and not hard enough. With the lateral force, so deflect the apex far enough to hit the fracture point. But you can see the fine reflection here. These are roll, so it does. It does yield, but in the kind of sub-micron level kind of deal, or it's so small at a few micron level. It's so small. Anyway, so then so if it was okay. Now if it was how about if it was the S1 25V use here? I think it will perform similar to the M388. It could be even slightly better because they have less chromium carbide. Chromium carbide is quite a bit larger in average size than vanadium carbide in the S110V. So, would any of these edge able to say if it were doing 10 degrees precise and all these edge, then you can do quite a bit more. But all this steel actually demonstrated, and that actually is tough enough. In other words, and so the other thing is, some of these things roll because they're not strong enough. So, thanks for watching.